Hello, hello, and welcome to the New Moon Circle. I am Yukiko Amaya, and I am a healer, a shamanic, and priestess of Goddess and priestess of Avalon. I live in the Shenandoah Valley area of Northern Virginia. It's beautiful and it's just a gorgeous spring coming on, but that's sort of affecting also my spring seasonal allergies. I don't know if some of you have an allergy, but I'm always very excited at spring. And then suddenly I get hit by these allergies, and it's a good reminder that the pollen is flying around and everything is moving as it should. So I would love to hear from you and welcome. Please put into the, sorry, I have a homeopathic anti allergy dose in my mouth right now, but please say hello in the comments box. Let me know where you're from. I would love to hear from you. I first of all want to acknowledge that I am on the ancestral lands of the Manahoac people of the Monacan tribe, and or the Monacan Confederacy, rather, of the Sioux tribe. And it's it's a real honor to be here. I feel the energies of this land, and it's a very powerful energy, and I'm so grateful. Okay, all right. Hi, Marcy. Good to see you, and hello, Angie. Wonderful to see you. Um, oh, and Sarah is here, and Susan. Welcome, Diane. Yes, welcome, welcome. Um, so the new moon. Hi, Michelle and Donette. Yay! All right, and Joyce. Oh, yes. Welcome. Linda. Yep. Okay. So we're going to move on now. The new moon is in Pisces. It's a new moon. We say a new moon because the sun and the moon are completely in the same quadrant, and therefore we can't see the moon anymore because of the sunlight. It's no longer reflecting the sunlight. And so both the sun and the moon are in the astrological sign of Pisces. They will be completely, it's going to be astronomically the new moon here on the East Coast tomorrow morning at 5:12 or 20 a.m., somewhere around there. So we are completely in the new moon energy already right now. And first of all, before we start, hi Carolyn and Genevieve and L.A. Eaton from San Antonio. Wonderful, welcome. Um, let's see, where was I? Yes, about the goddess. Some people have asked me, what is the goddess? And there are many, many interpretations. And one of the things about the goddess is that it is not dogmatic. She is not dogmatic. There is no dogma surrounding how you should connect with her or should not. And I just wanted to share with you how I receive her. And so for me, the goddess is everything. The energy of life, of creation, connection, consciousness that's expressed, separately through everything that we can sense, feel, touch, see. The trees, I'm looking outside because I see my beautiful oak trees. The birds, the insects, the soil, the plants, the food we eat, even what we call inanimate objects. I feel that there is a life energy in them or a resonance in them. Animals, people, the clouds, the rain, water, fire, earth, air, the cosmos, the stars, the planets, everything, to consciousness, what some people might call God or Almighty. For me, I couch all of that, I call all of that as Goddess, as she, as the mother, the great mother. And hello, we have somebody from South America, and Kendra, welcome, and Elizabeth, welcome, welcome. She is also that which connects us all, because she is also everything that I sense about myself. She's behind it all. And, one of my teachers, who's the original designer of an embodied conscious dance practice called Soul Motion, Vincent Martinez, said it very succinctly, alone together. We are alone together. So we are the expression of the separate, creative, unique energy of Goddess. And we are together because that's what connects us to one. I am one with all one. So, in this immense infinity of life, there are so many different goddesses with so many different names. And it's because from our human experience, I think we differentiate, identify these different energies, and it's helpful in certain times. In certain times, it's not so helpful because it separates us from everything. But to know that they are the same energies, the different faces of this infinite, immanent, and transcendental energy, the Goddess. And in the ancient times, it seems to be that there was only the Goddess. We go back, 30,000 years, we see carvings that come out of these caves that are just the Goddess. And it's much later that we start to see the Goddess with her son, so that the duality of this physical world that we seemingly seem to live in, maybe it's not as dual as we think it is, but this duality that we see of day and night or male, female, comes out of that wholeness of the mother. I kind of like that. And I find that much more comforting, to know that she is really right there with us. The Goddess, because she is so present with us, is with us connected with all the cycles of life that we experience, like the different seasons that we experience. So the solar cycle here on Earth, and the movement of the stars throughout the seasons. Also, the cycle, the much bigger cycles of our lives, that we are born and we grow, we mature, and then there is death. So if that cycle is lived fully, there is that. Or birth, and then life and death. And we can see these phases also in the moon. the moon is very close to the heart of the goddess. And it's in the modern pagan tradition, there is this understanding of the three phases of the new moon, the waxing, the full moon, and the waning. You've seen I'm sure you have seen the full moon with the two crescent moon signs, and it's very much associated with the pagan or the Wiccan movements. But those might be quite modern to look at the triple goddess that way. Maybe, maybe not. Um, but sometimes we talk about the maiden, the mother, and the crone, these different energies, which doesn't necessarily mean the different age groups that we belong to, but the different times that those energies come up within us. Sometimes, no matter how old we are, it doesn't really matter. Sometimes there is that maiden enthusiasm and innocence and creativity and yearning and desire and dance and poetry, that creative energy that can infuse us. And at times there is what we call the mother energy, this energy of abundance and plenty, of producing, of making, maybe cooking, this way of nurturing and taking care of, gifting, mentoring, birthing. That's the mother energy. And then the crone energy is the energy of wisdom, of understanding and accepting what needs to be released so that there is regeneration, that life can continue. It's usually we get into difficulty when we get stuck, when we're trying to hold on to something that's ready to be released, and yet we don't want to, usually out of fear. And that's when we step outside of the river of life. And we don't quite understand why it suddenly starts to feel like we are outside of the river of life. And it usually has to do with not being able to somehow release. And it's not that it's a bad thing. I feel like it's a moment of great learning and healing that happens when we get stuck and when there is a realization. So coming back to the moon, the cycle, 29.5 days, there are different goddesses that are associated with this triple cycle. In the Celtic system, we talk about, for example, the maiden energy, the flower maiden of Blodwedd, the mother energy of Arianarod, and the crone energy of Ceridwen. So Donette's asking, where might the sovereign or enchantress fit in the 4 phases of the moon? So it's in the Avalonian tradition, we talk about maiden, lover, mother, crone. So the sovereign enchantress energy is often associated with the lover phase, which comes at Beltane. And it's that Beltane is May 1st, right between Spring Equinox and the summer solstice. So we're really looking at nature really starting to burst open with flowers. The bees are going, there is sensuality in the air, there's sexuality. We start to be more awake. And it's also that sometimes associated with the time of life, teens into early adulthood, when we're very, very active in looking at this enormous appetite and connection for life, for sexuality. Our hormones are going. But again, as I said, it's not just about age. And so with Beltane, Rhiannon, the Welsh queen, is also Rhiannon, or the great queen, Rig. It's the same in Sanskrit. So the great queen. And she is sovereign. Sovereignty was the realm of the goddess in many cultures, and especially in Europe, where a king could not really be seen as a king unless he symbolically wed the goddess. And there are many different traditions. We won't go into it here, but so I hope that that answers your question, Donette. So it would be at the right around right before hitting the fullness, and during the fullness of the moon, I would say, so before coming into the fullness, so as the moon starts to wax and come into the first quarter, around there, sovereign enchantress. Also, there is a phase that some of us talk about, which is between mother and crone, as the age of the queen. That there is a sovereignty, and you can sense that sometimes in older women who have not yet reached the crone stage, but there is this sense of ease and comfort in who she is. You work hard to get to that place. The children have kind of flown the nest, and you come into your own. So there is that phase, which would be in the waning part. And it's so I would say in both cases there is the youthful enchanting and the sovereignty of coming into your own power and understanding it, and then the other side of really owning through experience and being out in the world to really feel this energy of sovereignty and understanding what it is to be a woman, and really owning your sensuality, sexuality, your intelligence, your independence, all of that. So I hope that answers that. Okay, moving on. There is also an interesting triple goddess, Bridget. Bridget is a triple goddess, not so much in the sense of maiden mother crone, but more because she has these three arts of poetry, healing, and smithcraft. So she is seen as a triple goddess of these different arts. And I'm sure many women can relate to that as well, of having these different attributes within one person. You feel that, and instead of feeling separated, that you know that these are the different faces of your own soul, your own being, and the richness of that. Okay. Ceridwen is also a triple goddess. She is poetic inspiration. She is also the mother to her children that she tries to give her gifts to. And she has the cauldron of wisdom and regeneration. So these three faces of the goddess. And those of you who are yogis also know of Sarasvati and Lakshmi and Kali. Sarasvati, the goddess of poetry and creation and beginning. Lakshmi, of abundance and sustenance. And Kali, the destroyer. So it's a fascinating thing to. It's a very deep and interesting journey to go into the goddess. Um, Good. Okay. So, talking of the dark moon and the new moon, so I invite you to really feel into the darkness. How do you feel about darkness? You know, what are your thoughts, your feelings about the shadow, the dark? What comes up for you? You can put it into the comment box if you like. That would be great. You know, darkness is often associated in the modern world with something that is dangerous or um, not good or even evil. And just for a moment, I want you to, and I invite you to feel into the darkness. Within us, it's dark, right? There might be some light that permeates through, but there is this darkness within. And just sense into what it feels like to drop into that place of quietness, of darkness. Maybe there's a lot of, maybe it's not so quiet in there for you. That's okay. Just notice. Let's take a moment. So let's take a moment together and settle in and just drop into your place of the dark side of yourself, the side that you perhaps don't visit very often. Good. So what does that feel like for you? Good. Wonderful. Peace and calm. Place that feels safe. Relax. Beautiful. And if you feel fearful, that too is real. So don't be worried. Again, there is no correct answer to any of this. Okay? Just sense what it is for yourself. Beautiful. Fear avoidance. Channel for light. Mm-hmm. Bewilderment approach. Uh-huh. Bit of trepidation, curious but cautious. Good. Wonderful. So feeling that connection, know that the darkness is a place where it's very difficult to see boundaries. And that's also why it's connected, I feel, with so much mystery. And there is also a certain amount of fear involved. Yes, wildness, rest, good. Sad. Mm-hmm. One of my teachers used to call the darkness or areas that are dark, black light. Beautiful, quiet, and peaceful. Mm-hmm. Black light meaning light we can see when it hits things. It will illuminate, but in deep space, it's dark because there's nothing there, but the light is carrying all the information. So the dark part of ourselves, or the darkness, is a time and a place or a space of infinite potential. And infinite is kind of huge. It is, again, bewildering, or the wilderness. It may feel peaceful. At certain times, it may feel overwhelming, depending. Okay. Carolyn says, I feel peace and sometimes connects or leads to light. Yes. And it can lead, as I said, to anywhere. It's infinite potential. And that's why it's very interesting to connect with this phase of the new moon or the dark moon. It's the dark moon right now, and once it starts to wax, it becomes the new moon. Again, it's a new creation. But right now, we're in that place of being able to drop into a space of infinite potential. No boundaries. Nothing is clear. Nothing is clearly delineated in the light. Right now, we are in the astrological sign of Pisces. So that also means there's a tendency to be able to connect with dreams, spirituality, big vision. The Pisceans are huge dreamers. There is Neptune, which is a very watery planet of dreams and visions, but also delusions and illusions. And so if you have a tendency to be lost in the dream world, wonderful. Dream big, and at the same time, see what it is that can enable you to express those dreams in concrete ways. And if you tend to be somebody who is much more drawn to concrete, organizational, manifestation, perhaps allow yourself to soften into the creativity and the visions and the dreaming. But this is a moment in the cycle as we move towards the full moon to start to relax, soften, and open to this area of infinite potential. And in order to open, you have to release whatever it is that you're holding, okay, that is ready to be released, so you can actually open your arms and embrace from this infinite potential what it is that is being drawn out towards you, and also what you are wanting to bring. It's always a dance between those two. And this new moon circle that I'm doing today was, the goddess came in and said, you got to do this. So I'm putting it out there. But I also wanted to remind you that I have a full moon ritual that happens on every full moon, and it is a really wonderful way of connecting with the tidal rhythm of this amazing moon. And I think my assistant Noellen, who is assisting me from the Philippines, that she'll be putting a link in as to how to find out about that, about the full moon rituals. But coming back into the dark goddess, okay, of the new moon. So take a moment to really be comfortable wherever you are, whether you're sitting or lying down. And make sure that you are warm, because when we become still, our body temperatures tend to drop. Good. And Kendra says you're born in Pisces. Tend to love dreaming. I'm also a Piscean baby. So I know what it is to dream. Yes. Okay. So coming into the journey, we'll journey in to meet the dark goddess. She has many names. Some of you might have heard of her as being called Ceridwen, the Welsh goddess of the cauldron of regeneration, or perhaps Hecate, the Greek goddess. There is also Lilith, the Mesopotamian goddess, often very, very badly spoken of. Also a Hebrew goddess. So there's the dark side for you. Ereshkigal, the Sumerian ancient goddess of the underworld. So gently letting yourself relax into the velvet darkness that is within your being. And the best way to get there is to soften your entire body. Softening and being received by the gravitational embrace of Mother Earth, our great mother. If you're holding your breath, let your breath soften. And I ask the great goddess Ceridwen to come and protect each and every one on this journey. Hold each and every person in a sacred circle of protection. The sacred circle of the great love of Mother Goddess for her children. going to be transported through the dark night of the dark moon into the ancient cave, deep, deep underground, deep, deep in the other world. The great cave of the Dark Mother Goddess. Oh yeah, hey, hey. Slowly sense yourself in this cave. There is a large underground lake spreading out in front of you. And appearing from the left-hand side, you see a barge sliding in. It has come to fetch you. You step into the barge. You look into your pocket and find a silver coin to give to the ferry person. Silently, the barge glides across the still surface of the underground lake. Taking you across to the other side. Even though it's quite dark, it's almost as if the stones are very gently illuminated from within, even the water. So you can see within the faint glow. Reaching the other side, you thank the ferry person as you step out. And there, sometimes appearing, sometimes disappearing, like a flickering vision, you see her, the dark goddess, at her cauldron, stirring. You feel her calling you and gently move towards her. See her. See what you see. know what you know. She points to a spot right next to her. And as you sit, she hands you a bowl with the elixir or the ichor from the cauldron that she has ladled out for you. You take the bowl and you realize it is up to you whether you want to take a sip from it or simply just hold it or to gaze into it. You hear the dark goddess saying to you, I am here. You may ask, anything. But most of all, I will show you what it is that is ready to be released. You hold the ball and you do what you are called to do, and you listen with your entire being. And next she will show you, what it is that you are not seeing. Oh yeah. that wants to be birthed forth at this time from the dark soil of your infinite potential. Listen to your heart. Listen to your soul voice. And it is now time to take leave of the dark goddess. Thank her in your own way. Look into your pocket again. In your pocket, there is a gift that you have carried for her. Take out the gift, see what it is, and then offer it to the dark goddess with deep gratitude for this visit. She in turn presses something into your hand, a gift from this moment with her. And slowly, as you say goodbye, you start to come back. Coming back into the space where you are in this world. Feel the floor, feel the chair, feel the couch, wherever you might be. Sense your body. Sense your breath. Take 3 deep breaths, filling your entire being with breath, exhaling gently everything out, and again, just 3 times like that. Feeling yourself with your hands, your body, rubbing your hands together, creating heat. Cupping your hands over your eyes and just very gently opening your eyes. And slowly letting the light come back in. Good. Stretching is good. You can move your body very gently. Stretching your arms up. Creating spaciousness in your joints. You can rotate your wrists and your ankles. Good. Rotate your shoulders. Just very gently looking from side to side. Good. And then with your fingertips, just tapping your body. Okay. And very gently with your fingertips like this, just tapping your belly, your abdomen, breathing into your belly, then your chest, breathing into the chest. Good. Okay. And just feeling into your auric field. You can use your fingertips to comb out your field. Whatever snags or tangles you might have gotten going into the underworld. Okay, just combing everything out. Good. Good. Okay. Good. So take the time to write out what you received after our session. Sorry, I have something in my eye. Good. But how was your journey? Just let us know if there were some parts of it that you like to share, and let me know if you have any questions. We'll do a quick Q&A if you have any questions. Okay. Good. So there was a couple of questions that were sent to me. So I just want to address those. And one of the questions was of what does it mean to set an intent? It's a good question. What does it mean to set an intent? Okay. And intention, what you are wanting to do, we have all learned to kind of set our intent or thinking about what we're going to do. It's all very much in the head sphere. That's one energetic space. But to truly set intent is to go down into your belly, to really feel into what it is that you would like to manifest or to bring about within your life, or within, or you might set a healing intent, for example. You are perhaps carrying something in your physical being that you would like to heal, or in the emotional sphere, or the mental sphere, something that you want to heal. So that can be a healing intent that you set with your belly. Now with the women, it's in the womb. And with the gentlemen, in the lower abdomen. And to hold that energy of healing, so that any time, for example, if it's about changing your dietary habits, for example, that intent, you you really gather that energy together in your lower abdomen, so that any time you're faced with a food choice, for example, you remember to go back to your abdomen. Is this something that you want to actually have or not? Perhaps the intent is to create a more peaceful connection with your partner. What does that mean? We tend to think about it up here. Again, what does peace feel like to you? Bring that feeling in. What would it feel like to have this peaceful connection with your partner? Feel it and bring that energy really into your lower abdomen or into the womb. Feel it there. What would that feel like? And anytime you are with your partner and you start to go into another energy, to remember to pull yourself back. What is it that you want to actually feel? What is that intent that you set? So it's a huge topic, so I can only address so much here. But I would say, see how you feel with that. That's why we call it seeding intent. It's like planting a garden. You seed the intent. You know, it's like planting the seed for an iris. So you've got an iris seed or the intention in the soil, and it grows up to become the iris. So something of that sort, to seed your being with that energy or the energetic direction. I hope that answered that question to a certain degree, I hope. And then somebody else asked, why is my brain and mind so confused? I think many of us have that. Why am I so confused? Why is my brain and mind so confused? And again, it usually has to do with, well, it can be many things. It could be diet. It could be the kind of environment that you're in. It could be the kind of news that you're consuming, the energies of the people around you that you're consuming, you know. Usually it has to do with the fact that we have lost our center, and that happens all the time. Again, we don't live in a static world. We live in a very moving universe. So to know what is your center, you know, in the beginning we talked about sovereignty, to be sovereign. What does that really feel like? So it becomes really important to have a practice where you can ground and center. That becomes very, very important, to find a practice where you can ground into your energetic center and feel what that feels like. And over time, as you practice that, it will become easier and easier to feel less confused, or if you feel really confused, to come back into the center and to be able to sit with the unknown until clarity comes. Okay, sometimes it takes practice and time and patience and a lot of love for yourself and a lot of self-respect, which will help you be able to say no to things that confuse you or take your sovereignty away. Okay, so it's a practice. And the confusion tells us that something is off for us, that it's time to perhaps rest, or perhaps ask good guidance and counsel from a trusted friend. Okay, good. Are there any other questions that you might have at this time? You can, if so, put it into the box. Otherwise, we are almost, actually, we are at the hour. So Oh, Diane, you're welcome. You're so welcome. I'm so glad that you have a new tool. Good. Okay. So again, these rituals are very, very powerful. And the full moon is also an incredibly potent time to come into place. And the full moon rituals are rituals that are pre-recorded. It takes me longer actually to pre-record and create these rituals that you can then do at your own pace at home than to do actually a live ritual. It's a very different setup in a way because it's about really utilizing your own muscles to start to bring yourself into connection with a rhythm. Ritual comes from the word ritam, meaning rhythm, coming into a big rhythm. So I hope that you will join me with these moon rituals. So check out the full moon ritual. For those of you signing on this weekend, I'm doing a new moon weekend 15% discount if you sign on to the full year series, the 12 moon series. Otherwise, the next the full moon, I think is March 28th. It's the worm moon, and that would be a powerful ritual. So you can sign on to a single ritual or go for the full year and really start to become more clear, less confused, and more in alignment with who you are and who you are called to be at this time. And we need you. We need each of us to show up sovereign and empowered and in rhythm with nature and with each other, with ourselves. Thank you. Blessed be. And this recording will be up for the next 3-4 days or so, and then it'll come down. All right. Thank you so much. Big blessings. And let me know. You can personal message me or just let me know how this was for you. Good. Blessed be. And I really thank the goddess, Caridwen, and all the dark goddesses for their assistance in holding us together today. Happy new moon. Big dreams. Okay. Love you all. Thank you.